So I just recorded a Facebook Live video talking about the number one mistake that I see a lot of young professionals make, and especially a lot of young professionals in tech. And it happens a lot more for tech professionals, I think, because I see a lot more job hopping as you're trying to find that perfect fit, the perfect culture that you're trying to get accustomed to. Maybe you've reached your growth opportunities at one employer and you're jumping to another employer. And that number one mistake is that you're cashing out your 401k. You're using those funds for something else that probably are not as valuable as the investments that you would have had if you would have kept it within your 401k, or even rolled it out into like a traditional IRA. Maybe you have some Roth type assets that you can move into a Roth IRA. But that's the biggest mistake I see by far. And I'll be working with people in their 20s, 30s, sometimes even 40s, where they say, you know what, I'm making X amount of dollars, and they're in the tech field. So you can imagine it's in the six figures a lot of times. And then we're like, all right, well, where are we starting from? Like, I know what your income is. I know how old you are. Like, in the back of my head, I know there's a wide range of where they could be as far as balances with their retirement accounts and things like that. But often I hear, you know what, I'm just starting out to making financial planning a priority. And so I don't have much. I have like 5,000 or $0. And so and then we kind of dig into it, and it's because they've cashed it out for various reasons. Maybe they told themselves that they're going to pay down debt. That's going to make them more financially stable. And so that's why they were doing those things. And every now and then there are some good reasons to go ahead and make that decision to take the money out of your retirement accounts. Most of the time, you should be able to reach your goals, especially with the income you're earning. You should be able to reach your goals without having to have that cash infusion from your retirement account be taken away from investments that are supposed to be helping you. So you're taking away from investments that are going to be helping you, and then maybe you're doing it to put down a down payment on a vehicle, which vehicles are assets that lose value over time. So you're actually taking for something that could potentially grow in value for you, throwing it at something that's going to lose value for you over time. And so there's lots of things like that. And sometimes it's just that Christmas is coming up. Maybe it was right after Christmas, so now you're trying to pay down the additional debt that you kind of went a little bit too crazy with. Maybe there's a vacation coming up. So there's a lot of reasons and excuses we may make for ourselves as far as why we cash those things out. But I would encourage you and kind of challenge you to, the next time you're making that jump from employer to employer, keep that money in your retirement account unless you absolutely need to access it. And I kind of say those are like break in a case of emergency. Yes, they're assets and resources to help you achieve your goals, but they shouldn't be the first go-to thing, because that's going to make you feel better instantly and give you that instant injection of just feeling good about it, because it may not be the best thing to do long-term or even short-term, because there's penalties and there's taxes that are going to apply to that situation. So I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize, is if you keep taking out the money, you're constantly starting over, constantly starting from the beginning of the game. And as soon as you get later in your career, 30s, 40s, it just is so much more of an uphill battle to be starting from ground zero. And I really enjoy when my clients come to me and they're just starting out and they're like, you know what, I don't want to make these mistakes. They're early in their 20s and they're just now starting to see how massive of an income they're going to be able to generate. And so we're able to start maximizing things really quickly. And it's crazy, the comparison. And obviously my goal is always to help people at that space that they're at and just kind of constantly level up. I just know how much harder it is when you get to the 40s and you're starting from the same spot as some of my clients that are starting their 20s. Like their life is a breeze, and the people in their 40s, like, all right, you have to be serious. I have to believe in my clients that they actually want to make that progress. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good fit to work with me anyways, because although I'm going to coach and try to motivate them and inspire them, like a lot of that has to come internally from yourself, as far as whether you're going to be coachable and able to achieve your goals. And so sometimes it's not even a good fit for me, regardless of how much income they're making. If I can't believe in them that they're going to have that drive and kind of empower themselves to actually achieve their goals once they understand how to achieve them. And that's kind of my role, is kind of bridging that gap, giving them the education, the coaching, the guidance and strategy and structure to help them do those things. So yeah, that's the number one mistake I see all the time. And hopefully by watching this video, it's something you'll avoid. And maybe you've recognized that you've done that mistake in the past, and maybe you've done it a few times, because like I said, you're probably change the employer every 2 to 3 to 5 years. And that's not what our parents used to do. People used to stay at their employer their whole life, their whole working career most of the times. And that's just not the case today. It's not realistic. But make sure you're aware of what those options and choices are when you are leaving your old employer. So hopefully that's helpful, and reach out if I can ever be of assistance.